girl Tanya. If this is your first time watching, welcome. And if you've been here before, girl, already know that I love you. Alright guys, in this video, we're talking about something that I've done so much research on for so long. And it's something that is very, very important if you are a pre-nursing student or if you're just curious to know how much these programs actually cost. And girl, let me tell you, it is a range of numbers. There's so many different factors that go into this, and I kind of wanted to do this video because I chose to go to a private school. And I know that there is a lot of stigma around private schools. A lot of people say like, oh my God, it's so expensive and blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. But let me tell you, girlfriend, your education is worth it. Like, to me, I feel like education is worth it because at the end of the day, girl, that's your career, that's your money maker, that's what's gonna feed your family, that is what's gonna get you ahead. Like, obviously, the tuition price does matter and it should matter to you as well. But this is why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to compare and contrast and do the pros and cons so you guys can make a wise decision on what school you want to go to, girlfriend. All right, let's get right into it. What I'm going to focus on in this video is mostly ADN and BSN. I know that there's also LPN and there's also APRN and all those other nursing schools that you can go to, but I'm mostly focusing on just like the RN programs. And if for those of you that don't know, an ADN is an associate's degree in nursing, and a BSN is a bachelor's of science in nursing, okay? Two different things. ADN usually takes about 2 years. A lot of ADN programs are usually in your community college, or you can find them also in private schools. Your BSN is usually done in 4 years, unless you find an accelerated program that you can do in 3 years. Oh my God, I feel out of breath. I felt like I said that really fast. All right, let's get into it. First off, before I even start talking about this, I want to let you guys know that the big difference in these prices is your location. It depends where you live. It all depends where you live, because if you think about it, a lot of places have obviously lower living costs than other places. Like if you live in Las Vegas, that's where I live, the living cost here is slightly lower than if you live in California. So obviously the prices and tuition is going to be way different. Okay, so take that into consideration. So if I were you, what I would do is I would research the tuition costs in your specific state, you know, and maybe if you really want to do a nursing program and it's getting a little too expensive in your state, look into states around you, because I know a lot of people that will actually travel to other states or even move to another state to attend a nursing program that fits their budget or that fits their needs. Believe me, people do that, so don't be afraid to look into that. Anyways, so an ADN program in a community college ranges anywhere from $12,000 to $35,000. So I know that's like a huge jump, like wow, $12,000 to $35,000. And that's what I'm saying. It ranges from where you live. I would say, like, if you just want to get your foot in the door, then just go for it, you know. But the thing is that with community colleges, and this is where I had a problem, is with community colleges, since they are very affordable and since they are just 2-year program, it's very competitive to get in, because everybody and their mom wants to attend these community colleges just for 2 years. Imagine like getting an RN for 2 years. Like, everybody wants that. Like, that's great, that's awesome, it sounds great, for only like $12,000 to $35,000. Wow, amazing. But at the end of the day, it is very hard to get into those programs because everybody wants to get into that program. So that's the problem, is that there's waiting lists. I've heard of people waiting a year, 2 years on a waiting list just to get into a community college ADM program. Pretty crazy. So then the other resort that you can go to if you are on a waiting list and you're not able to get into these community colleges, you can go the private school route. They don't have long waiting lists, and a lot of the times people say the reason why they don't have a long waiting list is because they're more expensive. To me, it's like this. You could be on a waiting list for 2 years so that you can pay less, but you can just go to a private school and start sooner and graduate sooner and start making RN money versus you just waiting around not making RN money. All depends on how you see it. So if you go to a private school for an ADN it's about $30,000 to $100,000. That is crazy. It's so crazy to me that private schools are charging, it could actually possibly charge $100,000 for an associate's degree, but some schools do it, and that's kind of ridiculous, but that's the range. So then for a bachelor's degree, so like I said, a bachelor's degree is 4 years, and I do know from doing my research, from talking to people, from working in the healthcare environment, is that most of the hospitals do want to hire BSN nurses. And the reason why is because these hospitals are trying to get to that magnet status. And what a magnet status means, at least here in Las Vegas, it means your nursing staff has bachelor's degrees. So the thing is that a lot of nurses that have an associate's degree will get their associate's degree, start working in a hospital, and have their employer pay for their bachelor's degree. And that's a lot of the nurses do that route, where they just get that associate so they can get their bachelor's paid for, which is pretty smart. It just depends on your situation. But if you go to a public school, like say if you go to like a state college for your bachelor's degree, it can cost you anywhere from $35,000 to $60,000 in a public state school. So to me, that's still, I mean, that's still a big number. So it's not like getting a BSN at a state school is super cheap, because it's not super cheap. Like, education is not cheap at all. But it is way cheaper than going to a private school. Because, for instance, to get a BSN at a private school will cost you anywhere from $40,000 to up to $120,000. They can charge you that much in a private school, because the thing with private schools is that they can actually choose their own prices. If they wanted to, they can adjust certain things. So yeah, that is a big chunk of money. But to be honest with you, it just all depends on your situation. To me, it depends on your situation. If you are fresh out of high school and you don't have any kids, you don't have any like responsibilities, and you can wait to get into one of these competitive nursing programs, if you can wait around, if you can afford to just not have that RN salary right away, then yeah, if you really want to go to a community college or a state college to further your education and not pay so much money, then perfect. If you are someone that just needs to start right away, like that just doesn't have time to be on these waiting lists, or doesn't have time to be applying and reapplying and all that stuff, and you choose to go to a private school, then good for you. Like, I don't think anyone should be like, oh, this school is better, that school is better. What really matters is what I'm going to get into right now. What you should really look into, obviously the cost is very important, but things to really consider is, first of all, the length of the program. There are some programs that are part-time, which are longer. So you have to think, am I able to go to school for a longer amount of time? Because usually when they're part-time, they'll add an extra semester. You have to think, am I willing to do a part-time program where I can work, but then also I'll have an extra semester, so it's going to take me even longer to graduate? Or you can also go for an accelerated program, which means that it's going to be all crammed. Like, instead of getting your BSN in 4 years, you can get it in 3 years. And a lot of private schools will do that. But then again, you have to think like, oh crap, like 3 years of a BSN, that's going to be a lot of work crammed into 3 years. So you have to think, are you going to be able to keep up? Are you going to be able to manage? Because going to nursing school is like already stressful as it is, just a regular program. So just imagine going to an accelerated program. So you have to think about that as well. And the other thing to consider is going to be accreditation. Accreditation is so important. You have to make sure that your school is fully accredited. There's a lot of new private schools that are coming up that claim to be accredited, but they're not. It's not that they're not accredited. A lot of them are kind of like partially accredited, where it's like when the private school is brand new, they have to wait for like the first 2 classes to graduate and pass the NCLEX to be fully accredited. So that means that they're kind of like in the process of accreditation. What I know, I've looked on the Nursing Board of Nevada, because I live in Nevada, is that if they're in the process of accreditation and you graduate from that school, you are still eligible to take your NCLEX. but you want to make sure that they keep that and they don't close down or something. If you do choose to go to a private school, you have to make sure that they are reputable and that they have a good history and that they have a good passing rate. So that's the next thing I was going to go to is the NCLEX passing rate. A lot of the times these programs will have the passing rate on their website, or if you talk to an advisor or an admissions rep, you can just ask them like, what is your passing rate? Like how many people are actually passing the NCLEX on the first try? That is something very important because that percentage will let you know how good they are preparing their students to pass the NCLEX. So that is something to take in consideration. So besides the price, besides the accreditation, look at the passing rate. Also, you can also ask for job placement rates. You can ask if they have a department that will help you find a job or that will help you with your resume or things like that, because that's also important because, yeah, you can go through the whole schooling. Yes, you can pass the NCLEX, but now you have to go look for a job. So you have to make sure that your school is going to have your back and that your school is going to support you all the way. So now that I've explained all of the rates from ADN, BSN, private school, public school, I want to let you guys know that it's totally up to you which route that you take, but I am a strong advocate that everybody has their own path, everybody has their own way to getting to their goal, and I don't believe that one way is the best way, or this way is the right way, or this way is the wrong way. I believe that whatever fits your situation, and at the end of the day, if you're gonna be a badass nurse, you're gonna be a badass nurse. Like no matter how much you paid, no matter how long it took you, no matter how much the struggle was to get into nursing school, because I know a lot of people struggle with getting into nursing school, and when they finally get in, it's like, oh my God, I finally got in. Other people struggle with the financial part of it. Other people struggle with the academic part of it. Like the whole freaking thing is a struggle. I'm telling you, the whole thing is a struggle. Believe me, I've been trying to do this for like 5 years. I'm finally getting the chance to start a nursing program, and I actually did chose to go to a private school. I'm starting in January, and I am going to share with you guys how much my program costs, just because I'm totally transparent, and if I'm talking about this, I might as well tell you guys how much I'm paying for it. So technically, the whole price of my program is around like $50,000 if I didn't have like any transfer credits. But since I've gone to community college, I've gone to state college, so I've already have all of my prereqs finished. Since I transferred credits into my new school, my new tuition cost is going to be around $35,000 for the actual nursing courses. And to some people, that might be like, oh my God, that's so much, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. But girlfriend, to me, it is worth it. I am ready to cough up that money to get my RN. I am so ready, and it is what it is. Some people have to take out student loans. Some people can just pay for it while they're in school. Everybody has their own way, their own path. And I just don't want you guys to get discouraged when it comes to the money part of it, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. At the end of the day, you're going to have those letters behind your name. At the end of the day, nobody's going to ask you all of these questions when you're an RN, when you're taking care of patients. Nobody's going to ask you like, how much did you pay for school, and how were your grades, and how. Nobody's going to care about all of that when you're saving a life. The point is to get there, and the point is to finish strong. So I'm happy that you guys made it to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I tried my best to lay it all out there for you guys. If you have any other questions about tuition, about different programs, about anything, girlfriend, you can always contact me. You can leave a comment below. I'm going to list my IG at the bottom in case you guys have any questions. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I love you. Bye, girlfriend.